Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. I want to take a few minutes to discuss Senate Bill 44, which is the anti-protest legislation that has been reintroduced this legislative session. If you have questions, definitely drop them into the chat, and I will do my best to get to all of them, or as many as I can, to respond to them. So let me start out by telling you a little bit about what Senate Bill 44 is. So some of you may recall that during the 2021 legislative session that there was a very similar bill that was introduced after the 2020 racial justice uprisings in Louisville and movement for police accountability. And the bill was this one was the insulting police officers bill. And so that bill is back, and it would penalize people for insulting police officers or taunting them. So you all know that will include chants that are led at different marches and rallies and protests. It would also penalize people for creating encampments at the site of so-called riots, which some of you who were following our movement in Louisville in 2020 know that there were encampments that were erected at Injustice Square Park for people who were unhoused. And there were quite a few supportive services provided for people who were unhoused down at Injustice Square Park. This bill, Senate Bill 44, would also penalize someone like me if I'm bringing jugs of milk down to a protest, so that our folks who are providing first aid can flush people's eyes out with that milk if someone's eyes have been damaged because of tear gas. And if you recall, in 2020, there were people who were claiming that the jugs of milk were actually bombs. So just a few pieces of the bill for folks to be aware of. And yes, I will be posting this live. And I also want y'all to be sure to check out the bill yourself. It's Senate Bill 44, and you can find it at legislature.ky.gov. And after this live, I'll type that into the comments for folks to follow. But again, that's legislature.ky.gov. And it's Senate Bill 44, so that you can read it yourself and see the damage that this bill is intended to do. I do want to remind folks that people like my daughter and I have lawsuits pending against the Louisville Metro Police Department, LMPD. For me, the first one is around us being tear gassed back in May on the second night of protest. And then the other was from when we were unjustly arrested in September of 2020. And y'all, as a reminder, we were arrested for failure to disperse, rioting in the first degree, and unlawful assembly. And so, yes, we do have pending lawsuits against LMPD. And again, if you have questions, please be sure to drop them in the chat. So I want to talk a little bit about how this process works, because this is part of the civic engagement that we should have for folks, so that they can or civic education, so that folks can be civically engaged. So the bill is a Senate bill. So it's starting here in the Kentucky State Senate. And the bill, in similar process as to 2021, the bill will go through the Senate Judiciary Committee. And if it passes the Senate Judiciary Committee, it will go to the full Senate floor. So if you want to stop the bill in its tracks, you need to stop it at the Senate Judiciary Committee. So contact your state senators. Everybody across Kentucky, contact your state senators in opposition to Senate Bill 44. If it makes it out of that committee, then it will go to the full Senate floor, where you need to contact every member of the Senate. So while it's in committee, you can contact the committee chair, vice chair, committee members to stop it there. If it makes it out of committee, you need to contact every senator to oppose Senate Bill 44. If it makes it off of the Senate floor, it will come over to the House the State House to go through the exact same process. It will come before the House Judiciary Committee. I serve on that committee. We heard the bill last year. My daughter Ashanti testified against the bill, as well as attorney Ted Schaus. Sadly, despite, one of their colleagues who was sitting with them in that committee being unjustly arrested and falsely accused, and those charges being eventually dropped, the majority of the Judiciary Committee, decided to vote for that bill and move it on to the House floor. And y'all were active. And you got it stopped at that point, and it did not make it to the House floor. So thank you for that advocacy. So continue the advocacy. It works, y'all. It's important. Please never give up. Please don't allow anyone to make you think that your advocacy doesn't make a difference, because it does. Even if people don't ever say it out loud, your advocacy makes a difference. So keep it up. And if the bill somehow passes the House floor, then it will go to the governor for signage, and that's when we'll have to apply pressure to the governor to veto the bill. So that's the quick process for this bill and how it will move through the legislature, unless you, the people, stop it. So I'm encouraging you, the people, to stop it. Educate your neighbors, your friends, your coworkers, your classmates about the Senate Bill 44 and the damage that it will do to people across Kentucky, how it is designed to silence protest, to call us rioters. And even though we know that that is not the case. And so we have to be very careful about what's moving through this legislative body. So my call to action to y'all before I go, and again, I'm monitoring the chat to see if they're at legislature.ky.gov. I also encourage you, if you're in Kentucky, quick process for this bill and how it will move through the legislature, unless you, the people, stop it. So I'm encouraging you, the people, to stop it. Educate your neighbors, your friends, your coworkers, your classmates about the Senate Bill 44 and the damage that it will do to people across Kentucky, how it is designed to silence protest, to call us rioters. And even though we know that that is not the case. And so we have to be very careful about what's moving through this legislative body. So my call to action to y'all before I go, and again, I'm monitoring the chat to see if there are any questions. Before I go, my call to action to you, if you're in Kentucky, please contact the members of the Senate Judiciary Committee and ask them to not hear Senate Bill 44, which is the taunting police officer bill. So that's my call to action to you. And again, I'll put it in the comments afterwards, but you can find your state senator or members of the Senate Judiciary Committee, as well as read the bill yourself, Senate Bill 44, at legislature.ky.gov. I also encourage you, if you're in Kentucky, bookmark that page, because you'll need to come back to it often over these next 40 plus days that we are in legislative session, because there are going to be other issues that we're going to need you to take action on, including mandating armed police officers in our schools, including anti-trans bills, including anti-abortion legislation, including anti-critical race theory bills. Lots of bills that we'll need you to oppose. And to the question about list of people to contact, I will post the website link, legislature.ky.gov, and remind people that you're contacting the Senate Judiciary Committee. And then I will check with organizations like the ACLU and Kentuckians for the Commonwealth, Fairness Campaign, Kentucky Alliance Against Racism and Political Repression, other groups who may very well have graphics already created that you can share on your social media. So I'll check and see what they have. If you're not following them, go follow them today, because they and tons of groups follow the legislative session, and they're the ones who are often most closely watching these issues around racial justice and sharing graphics that people can put out there to help educate folks. And am I available after this live? I actually have a 1 o'clock and a 1:30, and then we go on the House floor at 2 o'clock. So I will probably not be available today, but let's definitely connect tomorrow. If you need to reach me, I'm at 502-564-8100. That's my number here in Frankfurt. And my email address is attica.scott@ attica.ky.gov, attica.scott, SCOTT at lrc.ky.gov, and I'll also put that into the comments afterwards. I appreciate all of y'all for tuning in, and I hope y'all jotted down the call to action to try to stop this in the Senate Judiciary Committee, and I will definitely share this live afterwards. All right, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Someone's asking which type of work have I done. I'm not sure what that question is, but